microphone and help me start, okay? There is no time. Okay, so let's complete our lesson, or let's talk more about the solids. What else about the solids? I'm so sorry.
Teacher, there is
Yes.
the picture not.
Yes, Jasper, I know there is a problem today. I don't know what's wrong.
I can't see.
Yes, honey, I know. It's closed again. The picture also is turned off again. Okay, now it's clear?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Mute your microphone. There's no time. And let's start. Bismillah. Alhamdulillah. So today, inshallah, let's revise first matter or matters, anything that takes up space and mass, okay? And we have three kinds of matter, solid, gas, and liquid. Solid, gas, and liquid, okay? Solid, gas, and liquid, okay? Number one, what about the solid? Solid is a kind of matter. Solid is a kind of matter. Yes, Hamad, tell me quickly, honey. Solid is a kind of, Abdullah Muhammad say, don't write on the chat. Yes, Hamad, solid is a kind of
Matter.
and has its own. Yes, Hamad has its own
Shape.
has its own shape. Amazing, honey. Thank you so much. Yes. So solid is a kind of matter, has its own shape. Even it's moved, the shape keep its shape. This shape will be the same. Okay. What about the properties of solids? Solids can bend, can tear. Yes. Tell me, Abdurrahman. Abdurrahman, I tell you all of you mute your microphone. Yes, Abdurrahman, tell me. What about the properties of solids?
Teacher.
They turn off your camera. Muhammad Abdul Muhsin, turn off your camera. Yes, Abdurrahman. Tell me, honey, what about the properties of solid? Solids can? Yeah. Can bend.
Pen.
Yeah, can bend like this shape, or like if you have a paper, you can bend the paper, roll it, okay? Or tear, can
Cut
tear
it.
this paper, like can
Cut it.
tear. It's called tear, and solid it's called tear, okay? It's called what?
Tear.
Yes, thank you so much, Abdurrahman. So number one, solids can bend, can tear, okay? Also solids can float and sink. Yes, Abdullah Al-Hakami. Also solids can. Abdullah Al-Hakami.
In bathroom.
Okay. Yes. Yes, Sulaiman. Solids can. Sulaiman. Okay, there is no time. Yes, Mishari. Mishari. Solids can.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, Mishari. Solids can float, like number one or number two. Which is float, number one or number two?
Number one.
Float up.
Number two. Number two.
Number two, yes. So solids can float and can
And can
sink.
sink.
Yes, so say it again. Float and sink.
Float and sink.
Amazing, Shai. Thank you so much. So again, what are the properties of solids? Solids can bend, can tear, can float, and can sink. Okay, and many different properties. This not only these properties of the solids. No, many different properties of these solids. Okay. This is examples of the solid we talked yesterday about these examples, like the rock, like the glass, like the toy, the sea sponge, like many examples of the solid. And if we describe this solid, now we talk about the properties of the solid. What about the solid? It's hard or soft, it's smooth or rough, it's colorful or without color, can break or no, it's clear or long or thin. So many different properties you can talk about the solids. You can describe the solids with many properties. Okay, today inshallah we will talk about how can we measure the solids. Now we have a solid, okay? How can we measure the solids? First, if we talk about the mass, we know that solids, we know that matter is anything can take space and has a mass. Is anything can anything take space and has a mass. Yes, Yahya Muayyad, tell me, Yahya, again about the matter. Yahya Muayyad. Abdulaziz Assam. Abdulaziz Assam.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, tell me, what is the matter? Matter is anything that.
What?
Tell me, what is the matter? Matter is anything that takes up.
Takes up
Space.
Space and
Has what? Yes, Abdulaziz, has mass. Has mass. Thank you so much. You know, Abdulaziz, how we can measure the mass?
yes.
How can we measure the mass? By the mass.
Balance.
Balance. Thank you so much. Super. So we can measure the mass by the balance. So how we can measure the mass? By the balance. Look here. We can measure the balance which has a heavy mass or more mass than the other. We know by using the balance. Okay, so how we can measure the mass? By the balance. How we can measure the mass? By the balance. Yes, Muhammad Hilal, tell me how we can measure the mass? By the. Yes, Muhammad Hilal, how we can measure the mass? By the balance. Amazing. Thank you so much, honey. Now we have another tool. It's called ruler. I think all of you know the ruler and all of you have a ruler, okay? What about with the ruler? If we wanted to know how long this solid, the tall of this solid, the length of the solid, the width of this solid, we must use this ruler, okay? So we can use the ruler to know how long the solid, to know the tall of the solid, to know the tall and the width of the solid, okay? So we can use the ruler to know how long, what about the tall, and what about the width of the solid. Okay, how? Look, this is this chalk. This is a chalk, okay? How we can measure this chalk? Look, this chalk, it's about 10 centimeter, okay, of. What about the tall of this chalk? Yeah, it's 10. It's 10, okay? Or, so we can measure the solids by the ruler. We can measure the solids by the ruler. Yes, Yusuf? How we can measure the solids, Yusuf? By the? Yusuf.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, Yusuf. How we can measure the solids?
We measure the solids by
the length. How tall? How long? Yes? By the ruler.
Ruler. Teacher, we measure it by the ruler.
Yes, Yusuf. Yes. So we can measure the tall by the
ruler.
Yes, look, Yusuf, now it's this chalk. How long, this chalk, how long? If we measure the tall of this chalk, it's how long, you know? Look at the ruler.
Yes, I think it.
Yes. Say it again. How long this chalk? Can you see the number?
10 kilo.
Kilo? No, we cannot measure the tall by kilo. Look.
Centimeter.
10.
Yes, centimeter, yes. Amazing. So how many? 10 centimeters. 10 centimeters. Okay, honey? Yes, 10 centimeters. Or we can measure it by inch. By what? Inch. So we can use the ruler. Thank you so much, Yusuf. We can use the ruler to measure the tall, or the length. The length or the tall, okay? Length or tall, okay? So you can, if we finish, you can measure anything. If you have a solid, you can measure it. You can measure your laptop, your iPad to know how many, okay, or how long your solid, what you want, okay? So you can use the ruler to measure the length of your solids, okay, like this chalk. And if we measure it, now it's have 10 centimeters or 4 inches, okay, 4 inch, okay? So we can say a centimeter or inch. Yes, again, tell me, Abdullah Muhammad Sayyid. Yes, Abdullah?
Teacher me Abdullah Muhammad Qasim.
Yes, tell me, Abdullah, how we can measure the length?
How we can measure the what?
Length.
I can't hear you clear.
So again, how we can measure the length? How
Length?
tall? Yes, length or tall.
How?
Yes, the tall of anything, the tall of the solid or the length of the solid. How?
Have.
Yes, Abdullah.
I'm
Look at
sorry, teacher. I don't know this question. I'm so sorry.
Yes, Abdullah, listen to me, honey. Look, this is a roller, okay? This is a roller. This is what?
iPhone is not making the speech clear.
Okay, listen to me. It's a roller. Now, can you see this roller?
Yes, I can see it.
Can you see this chalk?
Yes.
The green? Yes, okay. Now we wanted to measure the length of this chalk. How we can measure it? By this roller. By this?
Ruler.
So we can use the ruler to measure the length. To measure what?
A length.
Can you see the length here? It is 10 centimeter. It is length?
Centimeter.
Amazing. 10 centimeter. We can say it in centimeter or inch, okay? But it is 4 inch, okay? So how many or how long this chalk? It is 10?
It is
10 kilogram or 10 centimeter?
10
Yes, 10 centimeter. 10?
centimeter.
Thank you so much, Abdullah. Also, we can use the ruler for measure the length or for measure the the width. Look, this is the width. We can measure it. We can use this string. This string. Can you see this string? Okay, I will erase. Yes. So if we use this string around the chalk, okay, and now we measure this string on the ruler to know what about with the width of this chalk. So we can use the ruler to measure the length and the width. The length and the width, okay?
Okay.
I will you more. Thank you, Abdullah. Mute your microphone. This is the length, tall, and this is width. This is the width. Okay? Yes, this is the length and this is the width, okay? So we can use the ruler to measure the length and the width, okay? So now, how we can, thank you so much, honey, mute your microphone. How we can measure, or which tool or what tools can we use to measure the solids? Two tools. We can use the balance to measure the mass. We can use the ruler to measure the tool and the length and the width. Okay, honey? Yes, Jasir? Jasir?
Teacher.
Jasir, tell me, honey, how, what the tools can we use to measure the solids?
Ruler and solid.
Thank you so much, honey. Super. Yes, Marzu,
And
tell me,
there's
Marzu.
many things we cannot make out of solid.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much. Yes, Marzu.
Yes, teacher. You're
Yes,
not
how we
welcome.
measure the mass by the, how can we measure the solid?
What?
How can we measure the solids by the?
Ruler.
Amazing. It's one tool. Thank you so much, Marzu. Yes, Basil. Basil. How can we measure the solid, Basil? Nasser, how can we measure the solid, Nasser?
Yes, teacher. I am Basil.
Yes, Basil. How can we measure the solids by the?
Cronel.
Balance. Ruler. Okay, ruler and balance. Thank you so much, honey. Yes, Ali. How can we measure the solids, Ali?
Yes.
Yes, how can we measure the solids by?
Ruler balance.
Ruler and balance. Ruler and balance. Thank you, Ali. Yes, Subhi. How can we measure the solids, Subhi? By?
What, teacher?
Subhi, how can we measure the balance? The solids.
It was measure.
Yes, how can we measure the solids? By balance and ruler. Balance and?
And ruler.
Thank you so much, Subhi. Tell me, Omar Adil, we can measure the mass of the solid by balance or ruler? Yes, Omar. To know, yes, to know the mass of the solid, to know the mass of our solid, we can use a balance or ruler.
Balance.
Super boy. Yes, Sultan Salah. And we can measure the length by
Teacher.
Sultan. We can measure the length by ruler or balance.
By ruler.
Amazing, honey. Okay, so just examples to measure the solids, but we have many different ways and many different tools to measure the solids, okay? But just it's examples, balance and ruler, okay? So let's summarize our lesson. Solids are matter. Number one, solids are matter with fixed shapes, that have different properties. So solids are matter. Number one, solids with fixed shapes. Solids have different properties. Solids can be soft or hard. A balance can use to measure the mass of the solids, and a ruler can use to measure how long, how wide and high the solid is. Okay, honey? So I hope now what we learned today, what are some examples of solid matter? Yes, Hatem. Hatem? Where are you? Hatem. Okay. Yes, Amr? Amr?
Yes, teacher.
Yes,
Teacher,
Hatem. No, wait. Yes, Hatem. So what are some examples of solid matter? Give me some examples of solid matter you learned in this lesson, Hatem. What, honey? Raise your voice.
Campbell.
I can't hear your voice well. Like what? Give many examples of the solids. Tell me about one.
Table.
Table, yeah, amazing. The table is a solid. Thank you so much, Hatem. Okay, so now what are some examples of solids? If I ask you this question, you must answer. You know, many examples of the solid: table, laptop, door, car, many examples. Okay, number two, how can you measure the solid? Sorry, how can you measure the solid? Yes, Abdullah Muhammad Qasim.
Can Hamad?
No, wait, Hamad. Yes, Abdullah Muhammad Qasim. Abdullah, how can we measure the solid mass? How can we measure the mass of the solid? By the balance or by the ruler?
Ruler.
Hani, I ask you about the mass, which is heavy and which is light. By balance or ruler?
Balance.
Yeah, balance. Thank you so much, Abdullah. Yes, Abdulaziz Assam. How, Abdulaziz, we can measure the length of the solid? Yeah? Where are you, Abdulaziz? Abdulaziz Mansour? Abdulaziz Mansour. Yes, Abdulaziz. How can we measure the length of the solid, the length? By ruler or by balance?
Ruler.
Amazing, by ruler. Thank you so much, honey. So now also you know how can we measure the solids and what are the properties of the solid. I think also all of you know it. Yes, Yahya Muayyad? Yahya Muayyad? Yes, Yahya Muayyad. Okay. Yes, Turkey? 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 Amr? Where are you? Amr?
Teacher.
Tell me, Amr, what are the properties of the solids? Give me examples of the properties. Some solids are hard and the others are? Your voice is not clear, Amr. Some solids are hard and others are? Yes, some are hard and the others are? Yes, the others are? Soft, others are? Amr, your voice is not clear. So some solids are hard, others are? Soft, others are? Yes, tell me, the solids can be bent and can?
Bend.
Yeah, others can? Tear.
Float.
Tear, float, yeah, and the others can?
There.
Sink, float and sink, float and?
Sink.
Sink. Thank you so much, Han. Yes, Muhammad Abdul Muhsin? Yes, Muhammad Abdul Muhsin? Thank you, Amr. Muhammad Abdul Muhsin, turn off your camera and answer me. Okay. Yes, Sultan Naif. Omar Adel. Malik. Why you can't answer me? Anyone open the answer? What's wrong today? Yes, Saud. Okay, Saud. Many what can be used to measure the solids? Many?
Many years.
Yes. What, Saud?
Many years.
Many years to measure the solids? To measure the solids by a balance and ruler. This is called what? It's called tools or shapes?
Shapes.
Yeah. Shapes or tools?
Tools.
Yes. Well, many tools can use to
I
measure
don't
the
say
solids.
shapes. I said tools.
Like what, Saud? Like balance and
Balance and
ruler.
tools.
Thank you so much, Saud. Super. Okay. Yes, Sulaiman, Ali, Abdulaziz Mansour, Zaid.
Yes, teacher.
Can be used to measure the length. How can we measure the length of an object, Zaid? By the ruler. Amazing. And how can we measure the mass? And how can we measure the mass? By the mass. By ruler also or balance? Mass, by ruler or balance?
Parents.
Yes, thank you so much. By the balance. Thank you so much, grade 2. My period is finished. Have a nice day. So please, all of you, thank you so much, honey.
Bye, teacher.
Bye, honey. Let's leave, okay? All of you leave the meeting.
Bye, teacher.
Bye, honey.
Bye.
Bye.